If there's one thing in the world you definitely shouldn't worry about, it's that fake Central American migrant caravan the xenophobic nationalists on Fox News have been trying to scare you into caring about or believing in. The whole thing is made up. It's a mirage. And even if it's sort of real, it's basically on the other side of the planet, far, far away from here. Watch some of the most trusted people in America explain why your fears are ridiculous.
They're telling you the existential threat to America is a bunch of poor refugees 1,000 miles away.
This group of folks, we don't even know where they are. They're way down there.
Call this an invasion. It might be the most pathetic invasion of a country in world history if this were actually an invasion, but of course it's not.
People he called invaders, even though they were 1,000 miles away.
The programming on the caravan was propaganda.
Way down there, 1,000 miles away. In other words, the caravan is a lot like Social Security. It's something we might potentially need to think about someday, but for now, everything's totally fine. Calm down. What liars they are. In fact, parts of that supposedly distant caravan have already made it to the American border, and many of the illegal migrants in it have already hopped our shoddy defenses and entered our country. The famous people you just watched claim that would never happen haven't admitted they were wrong, intentionally or not. They haven't issued corrections, of course, and they never will. The election's over, so they're on to the next talking point. Meanwhile, the torrent continues. Well, despite the caravan being a myth invented by President Trump to win a midterm, somehow Univision anchor Enrique Acevedo managed to find it, and he joins us tonight from Tijuana, Mexico. Enrique, I'm a little bit confused. So last time I checked, which was just a couple of days ago, it seems like, that caravan was, in President Obama's terms, 1,000 miles away, and they were walking. How did they get to Tijuana?
The caravan is very real. It's a movement of people, thousands of people. Around 5,000 have already arrived to Tijuana in the border with San Diego, Tucker, but it's not a national emergency, or it's not, and it's not a threat to the national security of the United States. Most of the people that are part of this caravan are just pushing strollers through Mexico. Their families, women, babies, that are just trying to get to the U.S., to the border, to legally request asylum, something that President Trump is making much harder.
Before we get to the subjective part, I mean, I'm an American. I'll decide whether it's a threat or not, if that's okay. I just want to get to the practical part of this. So we were told by anchors across the spectrum on television that the caravan was 1,000 miles away. They were walking. It was going to be weeks before they got to our border. I wake up this morning, and there they are. How'd that happen? Did they run, or did someone pay buses to take them up here? And you didn't tell us that part.
It took them almost a month or over a month to get from Honduras to the U.S.-Mexico border. Not all of them have arrived. Some of them are still trying to get to this point, Tucker. And yeah, some of them were able to catch a ride and get on a bus, on trailers, on the back of buses carrying chickens and pigs. That's how they crossed and made their way through Mexico.
Wait, hold on. No, that's not quite right.
Some of them are still walking and trying to reach the border.
Hold on. So you're saying that nobody chartered any buses to bring them up here? Because I think we have video showing chartered buses bringing them up here, and you're the reporter on the scene. I haven't seen anyone. You don't think there were any chartered buses whatsoever?
I haven't seen anyone chartering buses to bring them to the border. I've seen Mexican authorities, for example, here in Tijuana, providing transportation from this point at the border to a more humanitarian setting, just very close from here, where 800 people are spending the night. So they're being transported in buses from here to there, but not from Oaxaca to the border.
Okay. I don't think that's quite right. You might want to check your facts on that, because it would be physically impossible for the group to move as a group on the back of chicken trucks, especially with the strollers you claim are there, when in fact the eyewitness accounts we have suggest it's overwhelmingly young, unattached men. But you're saying it's majority women and their babies in strollers? Is that what you're saying?
I'm happy to share the footage with Fox News, the footage from our correspondent Pedro Ultreras, who traveled with them in the back of a bus that usually carries chickens. That's how they got to Sinaloa, to Jalisco. Others catch rides in trailers, in the back of pickup trucks. So that's a fact, and we have proof of that, and I'm happy to share it with you.
I guess what I'm saying is what you're engaging in is propaganda designed to convince people of something that's not true. So I think we both know that the majority of people, including the people we just saw on the tape, moving from Honduras and Guatemala are men, young men, without their wives and children, right? Or are you not going to admit that?
I don't think anyone was questioning the existence of the caravan. What they were questioning is the label of being a national threat, some sort of emergency that needed the deployment of almost 6,000 troops to the border, which we have now. What's next? Would we accept 6,000 troops in Chicago or in Manhattan? I mean...
Okay, no, but hold on. It's very hard to make rational decisions about how to respond to something if you don't know what it is, because everyone on TV is lying to you. And it's really clear that everyone on TV is lying to us. They told us that it was going to be weeks before this caravan got here because they were walking. That was a lie. They told us it was mostly women and children. That's a lie. They said there was no one else helping the caravan get here. That was a lie. And so until we get to the facts, we can't know how to respond. So let's stop with the lying and tell us what is actually going on. And you know it as well as I. It's mostly economic migrants looking for higher wages in the United States. I'm not attacking them, but that's the reality.
Tucker, there's no organized effort to try to get these migrants from Honduras to the border, to the U.S.-Mexico border. I know Vice President Pence said that there were forces in Latin America from the left and Venezuela financing this and making it some sort of a conspiracy to undermine the U.S. government. But the reality is that these people are fleeing Honduras. 300 Honduras are leaving their country every day, and they're doing it because the levels of violence and the levels of extreme poverty that they face there. So what would you do if you had your family in that situation? Of course, this is not an ideal. This is a humanitarian crisis, and again, all the governments involved should act like it.
Okay. You're saying, and I just want to get you on the record saying this, that there are no groups funded by governments or big NGOs helping this group of people move from Central America to where they are now, Tijuana, and to get across the border. Nobody's helping them. It's all organic. That's what you're saying.
In all our reporting since this caravan started, not only this one, the others that follow and that will keep following them, we haven't found any evidence of any government involved in funding or financing this effort to try to get these people from Honduras to the U.S.-Mexico border. Of course, NGOs are trying to provide humanitarian help. Okay. Mexican people have been kind enough to provide some humanitarian help, but there's no government or state force behind this. We haven't found that, Tucker.
NGO. I mean, look, we all know exactly what's going on. I just want to have you on the record so we can invite you back and we can talk through your previous claims and compare them to the evidence that we are in the process of gathering. And I can't wait for that. Thank you so much, Enrique, for joining us tonight from Tijuana, Mexico.
Thank you, Tucker.